First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to join this process with Blackboard. Um, in the professional road, I started working since I was 15 years old because my family had an enterprise holding, and my mother thought that any company can go bankrupt in the transition of second to third generation. So she taught me the value of work by giving me summer jobs, for example, as a truck driver delivering orders. I studied industrial engineering in Los Andes University, and since the beginning of that period of my life, I identified that what I wanted in my life was getting into a banking career. So I sought for a job in Citibank, in which I was an e-commerce champion in charge of tracking the improvements of the foreign exchange e-commerce with the development team in Citibank New York and doing electronic trading with our customers among the platform. Having that experience made me realize that what I really motivated me was doing e-commerce because I noticed all the savings that e-commerce processes improved. The most important thing I learned from that experience was that e-commerce was arriving to the country and it was going to get stronger over the time. I went back to the university to finish my graduating project that was an entrepreneurship project that ends with a thanks God excellent grade. By the way, my project tutor was the dean of engineering of the university, and its name was Roberto Sarama. And I started working as a sales and marketing manager for my own company named Panificadora San Miguel. Within it, my main responsibilities were negotiating with vendors and doing business strategy. And I worked there until the break even of the company and started working with Falabella de Colombia as the trade marketing manager for falabella.com. At that experience, I had a two internship team besides me, and my responsibility was to evaluate the marketing products and services of the e-store to sell them to our vendors, for example, email marketing or website banners. My boss was a matrix figure reporting to the marketing manager and sales manager, so I got them trusting me, opening up positions to roll out different projects for the company. My two favorite projects were Behind the Click and developing the FIFA World Championship in 2014. In the first one, I coordinated trainings for the whole company to understand what is under a purchase in falabella.com. They went to the call center, fulfillment center, and even some of them went to Google to understand the marketing of seeking visitors. In the second project, my most powerful accomplishment was developing the mini site with no funds from the stakeholders, getting the necessary funds from the providers. Having excellent results from these projects opened me the opportunity to lead the BI transformation of the company, in which the principal challenge was to convert the insights and data area from centralized area in Chile, that means that Chile took Colombian decisions, to the two decentralized one in Colombia, what means that Colombia started taking its own decisions. So I went for a while to Chile to learn the best e-commerce strategies from Tomás Gasmuri, the Vice President of Business Intelligence area, and I came back to Colombia to join the decision making of each first line area. For example, I was the person in charge of giving the marketing manager the recommendations of how to improve the return of investment of the e-commerce budget, decreasing investment in um, low performance campaigns to high performance ones using above Omniture. Omniture is the comparative tool than Google Analytics, for example. having in my cards KPIs to construct the sales formula as visitors, conversion rate, and average ticket value. Also, I was in charge of giving recommendations to the commercial manager to maximize the sales by providing the margin. Uh, I'm going to repeat that, sorry. Also, giving recommendations to the commercial manager to maximize the sales by protecting the margin with a prices elasticity model. If you put together all these best practices, they were valued in savings of more than 1 day of sales of the company. My most important project in this experience was doing semantic analysis for customer satisfaction surveys from 4C. 4C is the name of the provider, and this was a challenge for me because I changed totally the perspective from taking decisions from yes no questions of the surveys to open answers. In open answers, you can find what really is important for our customers and prospects in different clusters separate. This was difficult because, in one hand, it's hard to program a machine to catalog open answers, and in the other, the amount of commentaries needed to be significant in an statistical size to take a decision is high. Um, my relationship with Falabella was getting closer, so they proposed me to move to another company for the holding. From the holding, it was a car commercialization enterprise with brands as Suzuki and Citroën, worldwide brands, to do exactly the same. I did in business intelligence, but instead of analyzing the endogenous variables, it was needed to work with the exogenous variables, with the exogenous information. Sorry. For instance, we bought the rent information, that is the information of car registries in my country. And with this information, I gave insights as opening a new store in Cartagena because of an increase in demand, or stop importing black cars because their market was suffering a recession. Also, I worked by the hand of the marketing team to improve the sales model speech. Um, you know, This is the dream job for any man who really loves cars as me. But doing this was moving me away from my dream of working in e-commerce. you know, this is the dream job for any man who really loves cars as me. But doing this was moving me away from my dream of working in e-commerce. So I decided to accept an opportunity to work at Cencosud as an omnichannel coordinator. In this opportunity, my goal was to convert the web catalog of Easy. Easy is the brand of the home and improvement line in a real e-commerce website. So to accomplish it, I select the team, the technology, and I start coordinating each area of the company to adapt to an e-commerce operation. I was in charge of the P&L of the e-retail up to the EBITDA, and in this experience, I was the budget owner, and I realized that for any e-commerce, the most important aspect to have a healthy profit and loss was a good marketing optimization line. By the way, I worked in every experience hand by hand with Google and Facebook performance teams. Past a year from this role, my boss was moved to another area, and the new manager decided to restructure the area, moving me to sales team as a product manager for construction. I didn't accept because I didn't accept it because it was repeating my experience of going far away of e-commerce, so I decided to move on. When I moved to Conserva La Delicia, my principal goal was to lead a project to develop an app to handle B2B commerce transactions. That's why the position title is sales manager. In that platform, The store's representatives receive push notifications to catch images, to catch images, to catch images, receive the notification to catch images of the product exhibition, introduce product stock, and show merchandise implementation. With this, they win benefits that can be redeemed in order discounts. Having a strong CRM and measuring the RFM, what means regency, frequency, and money, were some of the strategies that helped me with the accomplishment of an awesome 106% year-over-year growth without any additional customer, and a fast growing of the app and adding new features to it caused the necessity to change our ERP, enterprise resource platform, to SAP, to the SAP ERP project that I led to. One characteristic of this job was that shareholders let me do consultancy to other businesses. I'm going to mention very fast two of the most important. In the first one was the evaluation of all the digital assets of a furniture enterprise that was being absorbed by a mattress company. The digital valuation included a database, customer registries, technology, people, processes, and of course, income. And the second one starts, this is my favorite, the second one starts with a meet and greet event I was leading for Distribute. Distribute is a cosmetics company. The event was the launching of the brand new Versace fragrance. It named Versace fragrance, and we invited almost 10 of the most important Latin America influencers. Do you know who is Pau Tips or Paula Galindo? No, I don't know. In 2019, she was cataloged the most important Latin American influencer by Forbes. She approached me asking me for some advice for her YouTube account, and at that moment I didn't know anything about her. So I took my cell phone, I entered to the tool of the influencers, and I looked for her, not noticing that she had almost 10 million followers, and her reach for the last video was about 50% of her audience. After realizing this, I said, "My God, please give me your own advice. Congrats for having that numbers." After this, in the same event, I looked for Gregoire Martinon, the CEO of the company, and I questioned him about the number of votes our president got in 2018 elections, comparing them to the amount of Paula's numbers of followers. He asked me what did I have in mind, and then I told him, "Can you imagine if only 10% of her followers buy a $30 basket?" So after that conversation, I started working in the project plan and strategy to launch Paula's personal makeup brand, leveraged in her audience to have savings in the profit and loss marketing line, and my relationship with Distribute changed for a full-time job. Finally, we bought the rights of using Pau Tips brand with the condition of creating an exclusive enterprise to handle the operation, and I became the manager of that enterprise. Its name was Retail Holdings. We bought the makeup in Maesa's factory in New Jersey. Also, I select the whole staff of professionals with a headhunter's help and solve all the legal constraints with the legal advisors named Luis Consulting Group. The most difficult part at this challenge was running to get the launching before Christmas season. We even shipped the product by air, assuming a 15% extra cost on it instead of shipping it by sea. And finally, the business opened its doors on November 15, and we saw a few things that could have been done better. The first one, Paula's audience average age was under 16 years, and the website didn't receive cash. So it was our priority to prioritize a cash payment option, which is a bit hard and belated in Colombia because of security problems. And the second one, in the hurry to open before Christmas, we signed an exclusively agreement with Chromantic that denied us from looking for more customer for a year, 1.5 years. This situation caught up us because the income was less than the expected, and the only exit was the absorption of Pau Tips from the company Retail Holding to the company Distribute. With this movement, Retail Holding clearly didn't need a manager, and they helped me, referring me to one of the makeup companies of Abbott ownership. Its name is Biotechnique, and for instance, it is, and actually, it is my current company. In Biotechnique, I'm digital manager. I'm in charge of three areas of the company: e-commerce, digital marketing, and digital transformation. But for this space, I'm going to focus deeper in e-commerce. It's okay? Yes, it is. Throughout the operation of our e-retailers, our principal challenge here is to get a net profit model. We accomplish this maintaining control cost of traffic with a comparative average CPC of 60 COP Colombian pesos, what is about less than 10 cents. That with a range of 3 to 4% of conversion rate give a comparative cost per activation of what is under the contribution margin. Let me explain further. What this means is that the contribution of each order can pay its marketing line CPA. So one of the strategies to get this done is a TV ad that sounds something like this. I'm going to recite it in Spanish for you to keep the intention of the ad, and next of that I'm going to translate it. It's okay? Yes, it is. Ahora puedes comprar Intibon en intibon.com y es muy fácil, te llega así. Y lo mejor, pagas cuando lo recibes en efectivo o con tarjeta. ¡Compra ya! This is told by Claudia Bamon, is a famous presenter, the TV presenter here in Colombia. What is a family face for the people, and also what she's telling in the advertisement is something like this. Now you can buy Intibon at intibon.com. It's very simple. It arrives like this. And the best, you can pay when receiving in cash or credit. Buy now. If you want, I can send it to you. And perhaps you are thinking this was really strange. It is relevant to mention that all the speech have the insights to break e-commerce boundaries of purchase. For instance, Nielsen, the company, the research company, ranking of digital purchase barriers have in the first place a feeling of loss of security in the purchase with an 80% rate, and in second place, a difficulty in the process with a 60% rate. Both things are solved in the TV ad because it says that it's very simple, and the second thing that isn't secure because you are paying when you receive the order. My second most important achievement was to facilitate sales, marketing, and IT to work together so fast at the beginning of the pandemic into a makeup campaign for our most winner mascara. Its name was Get Out My Makeup. Get Out My Makeup. It's something like a little bit rude, and was a message to the COVID-19 situation for all women who felt frustrated for the fact of using a mask without the possibility to use makeup. This campaign CTR was an awesome 40%. Also, it's important to mention the organic virality it made. And what else? Working in Abbott has been one of my favorite experiences. Organizational climate it's great. My relationship with my boss and stakeholders is good too. But after the COVID-19 situation, the budgets had decreased as a strategy to protect the people. As you know, I work here with projects. Um, all the budget of that projects were in hold. So although Nielsen forecast a growing rate of 20%, comparing it doesn't refund the last year 50% loss. Because of this situation, I talked to my boss and he agreed to me seeking another job. As digital managers are getting relevant in today's necessities. At least and but not least, uh, sorry, and last but not least, I want you to know some things from me that can be useful in your decision taking. First one is that I took the CM1 marketing test about a month ago as a request, and I can share it with you. I can give you the summary. The second, I did some research about your company, and if you want, I will be glad to share it, a bit from it. And the third one is I finished my project management certificate less than a month ago, and I can suggest the best agile methodologies to address Blackboard goals, as other assets as risk management, budgeting, and scheduling, and more, among others. Again, I'm very glad for the opportunity. Thank you so much for your time, and I expect to know soon from you. Thank you so much.